Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Unfortunately, we are doing Opera Omni again, strictly because, like, I've been so busy this entire past fucking weekend and shit that I need to get on this grind. That being said, we'll probably only be here for roughly an hour, so I probably will swap over to another game later on during the stream. Trying to think of what to talk about right now, because usually there's at least one person who shows up who I can at least work off of. I did get permission from the actual guys who made the, or at the very least the guy who uploaded the DMC versus matchup, or versus mod, to review that, so that I'll be able to review that in the future with hopefully Mangler. New Visions of V did come out. I've already read it. I'm going to try and sit down with Mangler at some point and get that one sort of worked out. I gotta start watching fucking Bakugan because Kyle wants me to watch Bakugan, so that way when he's talking about Bakugan he doesn't feel so fucking left out or alone, because like last time with the whole Ruby versus Maka situation, I was just there kind of like listening the entire time, couldn't really add anything to the conversation because I'm familiar with Ruby, but I need to start getting those fucking orbs. But I didn't actually sit down and never actually, like, research anything for that video, so I was just listening to him the entire time. Which is fine, but it's like, well, fuck, now I gotta watch fucking Bakugan. Hello, Gerard, good to see you. I managed to get the research I want done for Rugal, so I can probably get Rugal versus Akuma ready to go as well. So I'll be good. Really, I was just looking for Rugal's speed because I knew there was an argument for him being sub-relativistic. I'm good, Gerard. Thanks for asking. So now I have that one in there, I can more or less do it, because as far as I know, all the other feats should be good to go. I'm going to test out my Fist of the North Star mobile game on stream as well, because so I finally figured out why the fuck it kept looking so pixelated and all trashed. It's because fucking, I guess my BlueStacks was running on, it was running on settings that were designed for performance, or not, I guess, well, I don't know what the correct term is, like, it was set up so that way lesser systems could run, like, all their mobile games and shit, and that's why I couldn't run my Fist of the North Star game at, like, the highest quality. Okay, so the whole Nero's... I gotta talk about that. I guess I'll talk about that. Nero's voice actor confirmed that shit, or that interview, from what I understand, happened a very long time ago. God, I love that animation. So I'm pretty sure nothing really new has popped up as a result. I think it's still the same situation. We're just getting, like... People are just talking about it again because maybe... Because I believe it's the same interview that happened last time. People are just, like, trying, like... They just want DMC5 Special Edition. And don't get me wrong, I get it. We all want DMC5 Special Edition to happen. But, we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. I don't think, though, he converted it. Isn't it bad for them to do that, though? For a voice actor to talk about a Special Edition? Or to release Special Edition in general? Fuck me. Okay. No, something like that. I kind of wish there was just like an option on the character just to slide to the next one on the fucking list. Would save so much time. A special edition would be to release information about... No, kind of. It really depends. We know a special edition is going to happen at some point. Ever since DMC3, special editions have been happening for every single game. Yeah. The one who got in trouble was Virgil's voice actor... But that's because he basically confirmed DMC5 before DMC5 was ever announced. Like, he confirmed it, like, 3 years into DMC... Like... So, from what I understand of what I remember, the special edition for... this guy's trash. The special edition for DMC4 had just come out, or I think it's a little before DMC4 Special Edition, and he confirmed that, or he stated that Capcom was bringing them all back for a project. He never confirmed anything, but obviously, we all knew what that meant. That meant that there was a new DMC on the way. But the other voice actors just kind of shut him down immediately. From what I understand, he's famous, so to speak, for doing all that shit. I guess he has a problem with like, not like actual problem with non-disclosure agreements, but like he has a problem keeping his mouth shut, more or less. I could have sworn that when I did that, I was supposed to fucking send them forward, but alright, it's fine. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what his actual name is right now. For some reason, it's just like Dan. It's Dan. Dan Southward. Yeah, that's it. It just fucking blanked on me for some reason. Yeah, I would have started the stream a little earlier as well because I think that would have helped get like let people know I was gonna be streaming today. But I was in the middle of a League of Legends match and I was like, well, fuck, I can't just leave right now to set up a stream or anything. Because I'm so fucking close to getting gold. I'm back at 70. I'm back in the 70s, so I just have to win like 1 or 2 more games and I'm back in the promos and then hopefully I don't get fucked again. You know, living the dream. I still gotta do also a Morgana video as well since I already did Kale. So with the whole how powerful legal, I did see someone ask me for a Saint Seiya character. I asked Kyle if he knows who that character is, so Kyle can help me out with that. Because I've never actually watched Saint Seiya before. I've only ever heard about it. Like the most I know about Saint Seiya is that they're in Jump Force and like there's like a Pegasus guy. I think there's a dragon guy too, but like I don't know much when it comes to Saint Seiya. Alright, so we can move on from Seymour. Son of a bitch. I think Seymour got the burst weapon for his game, for being the antagonist. I guess in the actual like there's an actual debate on who the antagonistic character is of that game. I don't play too many Final Fantasy. Actually, speaking of Final Fantasy, I think most of them have already been added to Game Pass as well. So once I'm done with Final Fantasy 9, which I'll probably pick that back up again on Thursday, maybe. I don't know. I am still trying to play Other Side and beat that one, so we'll see what happens there. You ever thought it was weird for Virgil to pull out the Flame Sword both in Sin DT because it doesn't say he absorbed. Yeah, okay, so that's where things get a little weird because it's basically confirmed that the 2 giant blades on like his arms are Yamato. That's like Yamato's true form or how Yamato like is there. So it is kind of weird that he pulls out fucking Yamato normally. It would have made more sense for him to give him an energy sword of some kind, but I guess they just like, I guess they didn't want to model a brand new energy sword or something. I can't really understand why they didn't just give him fucking straight up Yamato. Or why did they just give him an energy sword. I mean, truth be told, they should have just changed up his fighting style completely if we're being 100% honest here. They should have just given him like a dual wielding style for Sin DT or something with like both energy swords going on. Like they could have done that, I'm sure, but they chose to go the route they did. It's a shame Sephiroth sucks so much fucking ass in this game because he has such a good potential to be such a good character. They just revealed Garland's BT as well because Garland's gonna get a burst obviously because he's a main antagonist of 1. And dude, Sephiroth is just a fucking joke in this game. It's not even a fucking fair comparison. Just, you know, I'm a little. I don't even know why the fuck they bothered with the fucking tail. Very clearly, like I can't. Hello, Weezer. I can't help but wonder if there was an actual fucking plan in place for a more deep Virgil kit and it just never happened, or what? I just don't know. Oh, I also finally beat Metal Gear Revengeance. Finally played and beat that game. I could not unfortunately stream it because for whatever reason, Konami does not allow you to stream Metal Gear Revengeance despite how old the game is. So that was kind of neat. And, let me. Well, for you now. I did. The Blade Wolf fight fucking sucks. It's like the worst starting fight for any game. I'm gonna make a video talking about it separately, but fuck me, Blade Wolf fucking sucked. He's just not a good starting boss fight in the slightest. Because everyone kept saying like, oh, it's a really good hack and slash game. Oh, it's a great hack and slash game, and so I went to go play it. And I'm like, I didn't like it at first. I only played the game for 4 hours, mind you. Like, I beat the whole game within 4 hours. 4 hours and something. The game is very fucking short. Anyone who paid $60 for that game got ripped off so fucking hard. Because, dude, like... Hang on. Does Fury only scale to DMC 5 Dante pre-blood boost or post-blood boost? Or does he scale to... as far as we... Presumably, the Fury should be inferior in stat to the Demon Kings. But for sure, he would only scale to a post-blood increase Dante, since that's when Dante fights him. That's like the only for sure one we can give. More likely than not, people like fucking what's his name, and the fucking people like Chen and DMC2 Dante most likely scale to Fury speed, more than likely. But we can only confirm that post-blood Dante. Well, no, I understand what you mean. Like, you're saying really scale speed-wise, and I'm trying to say, like, yeah, Demon King should be superior in, like, all stats to the Fury, which should include speed. But we just can't fully confirm that because we only ever see Dante fight the Fury post-blood increase. If characters like V or Nero could fight the Fury canonically, then it would scale back to, like, DMC4 Dante and shit, no doubt. Just waiting for that Visions of V manga to come out and be like, yo, bro, you ready to get that good shit? As soon as it confirms we can fight the Fury, well, it's gonna be good times all across the board. Gonna say V stronger than Nero. It's gonna be great. All right, next character. Don't I have your fucking EX weapon? All right, no, I don't. When did it come out? When did what come out? Alright. I'll be honest, I wouldn't be fucking surprised. Ladies got such fucking unreal bullshit going on. It's like, fuck, I would not even bat a fucking eye. Be like, alright, ladies measurable speed. Moving on. No fucks will be given. I'd just be like, alright, fuck it. Next mission is a V-check. Okay, so there's already a new one out. I've already read it. I'm going to try and get Mangler at some point to sit down with me so we can review it together. And then we do have and then there's another one coming out by the end of the month. The one by the end of the month seems like it's going to be a lot more interesting than the one we currently have right now. It should stay plus regardless. So I might just wait for to review them both at the end of the month, but we'll see what happens there. I like this big old essay fucking. I thought it was due like on Monday, but I guess they moved it to fucking Saturday. Don't spoil the whole video. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like you also find out they had cut content for V too, because V originally had a fighting style. V had an attack where he summoned all of his actual. Dude, how the fuck are you still gold 4? Down, we're gonna increase with Kale or no? Hey, that's a pretty good fucking win rate. Sorry about that. It's because I'm checking, because like I've been playing Kale more recently, because I've been trying to main Kale in League of Legends, and I've finally been able to more or less improve my Kale game by just fucking building bullshit. So now I feel good about myself. Okay, so we got VV done, so we gotta switch over to the next person before the fucking timer runs out. The fact that we only have to do it once per person is so fucking good. So good. Yeah, so the next video for sure to expect is hopefully going to be Rugal versus Akuma. Because that one's basically done. I already have the information for Rugal and Akuma. And now that I have the speed fee I was looking for Rugal, we can do that one. It may be a little inaccurate depending on where you scale Orochi, because from what I understand, Orochi scaling exists like fucking everywhere. If Orochi, like, what I'm gonna say here is if Orochi is universal level plus, then like Omega Rugal hard stops Akuma for sure. Because even a small portion of universal level plus a bit power is still gonna be like fucking star level. I've already talked about this with the whole fucking I already talked about this similar to the fucking Arkham situation where it's like, yeah, okay, so Arkham got that much, but that's still fucking like multiple stars at bare minimum. That's still like probably fucking galaxy level bare min. Man, fuck me. Quistis. You know, I have her actually, but unfortunately it doesn't really feel like she's worth leveling up for the team. I'll be honest. I just kind of want more of. Fuck me. That's a massive amount of overflow. I kind of just want fucking I've already said this before, but like I just kind of want more of the Virgil backstory with Nero's mom. That's kind of like the only thing I really want from DMC at this point. I mean, I guess it'd be nice if it confirmed how. So presumably it's gonna go all the way till the end of the game, more or less, because apparently fucking the writer's willing to go all the way. Hello, Samaj. The writer's willing to go all the way up until Virgil comes back. So we're gonna get canon versions of the boss fights, which might change the scaling a little bit for DMC as a whole. Now let's go ahead and put him in there. What fucking character do I have missing for Zack? That's my fucking question now. Okay, let's go ahead and put it right in there. Thanks to Noctis, this is so much fucking easier. Alright, let's move. My fully built up Noctis. Fucking love you. Resident Evil 7 is now available on Game Pass, so I guess I could try playing that as well, but I don't really... I mean, like, everyone praised Resident Evil 7 up the wazoo. Yeah, I started a little late because I was playing League of Legends earlier. I think I'm on a win streak right now. Let me check that shit. I'm on a win streak with the... Yeah, I'm on a win streak right now. I'm about to hit promos, so that's gonna be exciting for me. Oof. No. So my problem with 7 is just like it doesn't look like fun Resident Evil to me. So that's why I never fucking got on that shit. I recently also bought Ultimate Chicken Horse, but like that's really only a game that's fun with people you know. I tried playing it by myself, and it's like, oof. If Dante and Virgil are back in the hero, Virgil most likely work with him. So what if they start doing jobs and then reality switching matter? What universe could they fit in? I'm a little confused with that question. Oh, what the hell? It's a weird ability. Like, are you saying what universe lore-wise would be, like, they would fit in just fine? Or, like, okay, what's this do exactly? Yeah, okay. Resident Evil 2 Remake is only fucking boring if you yourself have never really experienced the original Resident Evil games. That's all I'm gonna say at that one. I tried streaming 2 for a bit. I actually never finished 2. That's not because Resident Evil 2 was boring though. That's because inherently I just we have I'm pretty sure we'll just go immediately again after him, right? Yeah, we'll just immediately go again after him. That's fine. Well, okay. Did you ever play the original Resident Evil 2 or 3 or no? Well, 3 is faster than Resident Evil 2 Remake, but like, did you ever play the original Resident Evil 2? Resident Evil 5 is slow if you compare it to 6, but like if you just compare Resident Evil 5 to like the other games, it's way faster. Don't really know how you can call it. Like, I mean, if you know what the original game felt like, you really can't call the new one. I mean, I guess you can still call it slow, but like in comparison to what it started as, it's like fucking so much faster. Dude, you can literally beat the game in 2 fucking hours. I shit you not. Like people. Oh. Hang on, is that? Oh Christ, yeah, that's Mingler. I was about to say, is that Mingler? Yeah, no.
That timing was terrible. I'm sorry. As soon as I said yo, the mic was just like, hey, we're gonna crap out right now.
I think I'm not a fan.
I'm like, no, don't do it.
Please. I think I'm not a fan of Resident Evil 2 Remake because you don't have to hand-to-hand combat or roll. Yeah, I mean, like, you really have to have experienced the original fucking games to really appreciate the remake, I think, in its full capacity.
Sorry, guys, that was just my mic. You can also refer to it as the voice from beyond. Sometimes when I speak, it speaks back. Of course, everybody else has to hear it, and it's very unpleasant.
Oh man.
I sent you memes.
Did you send me memes? Where did
Yeah,
you send?
so I was trying to send you some memes from Swag Kage's channel about some Naruto stuff, but like I think I linked it wrong, and I sent his Twitter handle, so I had to link it again. You guys, I think will like this one. It's basically it's supposed to be making fun of the conversation that Minato has with Obito, and it's just like it's Minato. He's just like, are you Madara Uchiha? And Obito's just like, maybe I. It's just like, why do you have one Sharingan? He's like, what? It's like, wouldn't Madara have two Sharingan? Like, well, my other one burnt out. Don't you have EMS? Kakashi has a Sharingan in the opposite eye. No. Are you Obito? dot 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 dot.
Solves the series right there. So I was watching Set the Programmer's a little video, because I guess he has 3 channels now. He has like a separate channel for live stream moments, where he watched Beerus versus the girl. But at the start of the video, they were asking Set to power scale DMC. And then Set's like, oh, well, the guy here, you know, he's a DMC guy. He can power scale it. And I'm like, why don't like, can you name the fucker so I can find out who the fuck this is? So I guess expect maybe in the near future for Set to maybe do a DMC video. It sounds like he's willing to do it, or at the very least someone's going to do a DMC video in the near future, it sounds like, based on how the chat kept asking for it. So that'll be fun.
Sorry, I just had to go to the restroom. Hopefully my computer gets fixed before then.
I think it might have been Swag Kage, because they kept referencing Swag Kage's name, but they don't directly attribute it to the was Pride of Waff the guy in that video? Oh, fun. I actually know Pride of Waff. I haven't talked to him in a while, though. I think he's... I'm not sure if he's in my Discord server or not.
You and I need to make a giant collection of, like, scaling videos for DMC. And we need to spoof them up. Like, spoof them. With, like, fluffing and everything. Like, lights, camera, action.
Yeah, make the big shit. Oh, if it was Pride of Waff, then, you know, that's fine. Pride of Waff, for the most part, he's pretty much on the ball with DMC power scaling. Unless he changed his mind recently on the matter. But before, I think...
But if we want to get discussion going, it has to be us. I don't know Pride of Waff, so I have less confidence than you do.
He was a Virgil fucking yeah, he has a video on Virgil power scaling if you want to check it out. I met him via Shin. I think he's on a different Discord server, so I haven't talked to him all that much. But from what I did talk to him, he seemed on the ball for the most part. You'd probably disagree with a couple of things, but like he's not like ignoring
if he wants
direct
to talk
evidence.
Story and lore, that's cool because Virgil determines the events of most of the games.
Virgil is.
I'm just gonna say he determines the events of DMC2 because we all know Dante's just acting that way because that's the day Virgil died, or cosplaying or some shit. He's acting exactly like Virgil, so it really doesn't even matter.
I haven't seen his Virgil power scaling video. We might disagree with it, but I don't think it's going to be overtly horrible in terms of, like, fucking, like... We're not going to get planet bullshit and stuff like that.
Speaking of DMC power scaling, I somehow got Dante to 7D power-wise. I do something wrong. Are you trying to say, did you do something wrong?
I think that's what
let me help you out there. Probably. I mean, I think you could get Dante to dimensions higher than the 4th dimension as soon as we see examples of just the 5th dimension being accessed, because blood has already proven you can ascend to higher dimensions. But I don't know why you would pick the 7th dimension specifically. I don't think there's any mention of the 7th dimension.
We're going to cut through time? No. Like, 4th dimensional is already in the cards. That's like no question on the table. Being able to cut through time and space and shit, that'd be 4th dimensional in nature, so to speak. Wait. Oh, that's what I was saying. I have your LD, don't I? I already fucked up with her. I did, yeah, because I don't use her at all. Yeah, no.
Wait, so this was on his Beerus?
Okay, so he watched the video. Beerus did it like, said the live stream where he watched the death battle between Beerus versus what's her face, and I haven't watched the full video yet. I guess he's just reacting to the full video as a whole, and he straight up the guy at the beginning of Power Skills DMC, but I guess it's Pride Waff. I guess I just didn't recognize his voice since I haven't talked to him in so long.
I mean,
they don't.
I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't Swag Kage, but at the same time, like, I'm happy that it's not Swag Kage because he clearly seems to have the time to make like better looking videos than what you and I attempt to produce.
I mean, even regardless, none of my videos are ever gonna fucking reach their level. Because even if I do put all the, this is the problem I kind of have where people think like editing equals video content. It doesn't, because most of my shit's niche to begin with. My videos will only receive views if one of those two fuckers makes a video on DMC. Because then they're going to find my videos in the search history, and then they're going to look at my videos, maybe.
Well, I don't mean like the commentary. I think the commentary we give only needs to be improved slightly. Because most of what we said doesn't change, even if we went back and reformatted or like redid those videos. It would just be like the displays.
No.
It's like showing various stuff
like,
on
they'll
the
be able to
screen.
make
That
better
would be
quality videos, no doubt, because they actually... I think they have their own editors, actually. I mean, like, if I paid Newman to edit the videos, I would have better videos. That's just a fact of the matter. Oh, good lord. A Fetty fucking and Pimp Demon just popped about fucking nowhere. Alright, I'm gonna see this. You don't transcend 4D to stacking infinities. You just get a huge baseline. Zim, have you read, is that Immeasurable Dante? What the fuck is his name? Hang on. Oh, it's Noctis. Oh. Oh yeah, I guess don't spoil Visions of V, for, Weezer. It's not really
My lips are sealed.
No. It's because Pimp Demon over here is spoiling Visions of V for Weezer. Not intentionally, of course, but you know.
Bye.
Regarding the videos for a minute, here's the problem. When you, like, editing videos doesn't mean consistent views or anything. Because you can find people who have actually well-edited videos, and they don't get that many views at all. Like, I've chosen to do a format...
Twin review. Sorry. He had a really well-edited video.
How many views did it get?
It's the one we reviewed.
I know.
Remember?
Yeah.
It was probably a couple hundred. It was actually wait. I might look it up. Let me help. I'll help you out. I'll help me out. I'll help you out. I'll help everybody out. Everybody's being helped out here.
That's sort of the problem when you have that's the thing, because like they're like, work on your videos, do this. But if you're not talking about something that's already fucking popular, like Dragon Ball or something, it doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't.
Oh, he made a recent video on Silent Hill 3. Dude, I hope he responds to our response.
I doubt it.
Oh, never mind. He got 9K views. It was pretty.
To be fair, that's because the video title is called what's it called? What's the video called?
The first one was Why Devil May Cry 5 already sucks. The second one was The Hard Truth About Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, no. People are gonna look up reviews and that's gonna pop up there. That's why they were able to see it. 22 Reviews video was really well edited. That was really good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like it does seem pretty well edited and compartmentalized.
If only the actual critiques were good. At least fucking what's his face? That fucking reviewer isn't as bad. Fucking what's his name? He's pretty popular. Ah, fuck. Joseph Anderson. If only he had Joseph Anderson's critiques.
Are you trying to say Alexander Anderson?
No, wait. Have you never seen Joseph Anderson, the YouTube like fucking commentator guy who does reviews?
Heard of it. Definitely heard the name Joseph Anderson before.
Yeah, he's fucking he makes a bunch of fucking video essays on games. Like my favorite video of his is The Witness, because he doesn't fucking like sugarcoat it. If you know what The Witness is.
No, I am not witness to what The Witness is. unskilled. One day DMC is going to be popular, but it's going to be about debunking universal DMC. I wouldn't put it past the internet to produce a phenomenon such as that, since that technically already exists in a lot of circles.
Look, Versus Battle Wiki's already here. We already know it's there.
So, I mean, we've proven that a scenario like that could occur. So.
It's really just like, oh, we never see him destroy a universe, so why should he have that level of power? One of the actual, because when we got sent that thing on our Discord server that they were going to try and do another content revision thread, the actual fucking thread that was on specifically asked, does Dante seriously have universal levels of power? Is this seriously accurate? And some guy's like, we're going to content react it. I will debate any of them on Versus Battle Wiki. They can come to me and debate me all they want. I'm ready for this shit. I've been ready since fucking day one of this battle. But those pussies
I don't think even VSB doesn't even like totally agree with it. Some of their moderators and the people, they were like, "Oh, that's a little non-2C Dante. That seems kind of stupid."
I mean, again, I haven't watched the full video of Seth versus that one. So I bought some disc plates, and one of them's a Lude 2B, so I'm trying to figure out when we have to put them for, like, to get them in the fucking stream.
There's a lot of verses that get downplayed, but I feel like the reason people, like, downplay Dragon Ball is because Dragon Ball is, like, super simplistic. It's got a pretty solid message, but it's a simple one. It's not very complicated. There's not a lot of depth to it. And that makes it pretty accessible, but, you know, people just don't like the fact that most of the show is just about the lives of people who love to fight. And that's not really engaging to them. So
Dead or Alive is very engaging to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. I'm talking about Dead or Alive.
You said in a series of people who love to fight, and I just assumed you were talking about
referring to Dragon Ball, an earlier anime at a time when this wasn't like as popular.
My bad. Continue.
Dead or Alive's a fighting game. How's it even the same?
I mean, it's just filled with people who love to fight. They just love fighting each other. It's like Mortal Kombat setups, but it's fucking cringy. If you ever played Mortal Kombat 9.
Ugh, Goku never blew up a planet. Well, I mean, according to the filler, he actually did. If you watched Namek, he actually punches an energy blast during his fight with Frieza, and it just flies off. And
hello, Basana, good to see you. Oh, is that part of the fight filler?
It is.
Gross.
But, do they realize that Frieza in his first form blew up a planet? So, even if you were like, hey, it has to be as strong as Frieza's first form to blow up a planet.
You remember when fucking they did Goku vs. Superman and they said they weren't going to use scaling for Goku? So they had to just go with Goku's own feats only? Even though most of his feats are scaling the people who
How did Goku beat Frieza then? How did any of the people who were stated to be weaker than him and were shown consistently to be weaker than him, how did any of them beat first form Frieza? How did any of them get stronger than first form Frieza?
Well, Vegeta's number was just bigger. We see that in the Scouter reading.
Oh. It was so big it broke the Scouter.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Suck it.
So I'm sure Screw Attack totally believes that Vegeta from the Namek saga is the same strength as Vegeta from the Buu saga.
Okay, hang on.
That doesn't get powered up and then doesn't fight a vastly stronger Goku.
Sounds legit to me. Me with just my Noctis LD. How embarrassing! According to a DPC YouTuber, only Master Ultra Instinct Goku and Jiren can destroy one universe, and Jiren can only destroy 2 universes. That's Are we talking 4-dimensional universes, or are we talking 3-dimensional? Because apparently, I found out the other day. I think Mangler was here when we found this out. Neo doesn't even scale Dragon Ball to 2C, based on timelines, and it's. Well, I thought it was a good argument actually.
Well, the thing with DBZ is that you can't even scale the alternate timeline to be DBZ, because when Battle of Gods happens and Beerus and Goku are punching each other, right, and the shockwaves are being felt throughout the macrocosm, we never get any confirmation or evidence that this reaches future Trunks' timeline, which is supposed to be somewhere in the same macrocosm. Like, we never get any evidence that this happens later on. People claim that it's there because it's supposed to be like an example of like a paradox that was created as a result of his time travel shenanigans. But we never get any confirmation that it was ever affected or that his powers could ever reach it. Like, basically, the only way that you can determine whether or not someone can affect multiple universes is if they are shown to do so or they have creation abilities. And they are shown to do so.
Isn't Battle of Gods meant to be linked to the manga? I don't know. From what Beyonder was telling me, and from what I already knew.
Well, when I say Battle of Gods, I just mean the first arc. First arc of Dragon Ball Super.
The manga is completely separate from the anime, so you can't use them, obviously to scale each other. By the way, I do have a new type of video I am working on that is going to come out as well. It's going to be a bit of a bigger video. Might actually be well edited. Who knows? The sky's the limit with this one. It is involving Dragon Ball and Fist of the North Star, though. So he said Goku in battle. Okay, so I don't think you can really dispute whether or not Goku in God form is universal. The question on the table is whether or not they're to see. And depending on how you look at the Dragon Ball timelines is where things get complicated very quickly. Because I was in the original impression that 2C was fine, and then I heard Neo's argument, and I'm like, well, shit, that's a pretty good fucking argument.
Well, because it was more so the fact that he was arguing that like there's not solid evidence for time being completely different in areas of the macrocosm, and in the case of Dragon Ball's multiverse, Dragon Ball very conveniently is a multiverse that is established very clearly in Dragon Ball Super. That there are about 12 different macrocosms that exist, and each have their own twin universe.
You're right. I'll just have Neon edit it for me.
Which would make it a really simple. Which would make it really simple.
Wait, hang on. I got something that might trigger you a little bit. I got Fetty here saying Kid Buu is stronger than Buhan with 3 different arrows saying he's massively stronger.
In no source material, anime or manga is that ever established because all statements are drawn by feats. I hope you're joking, Fetty.
So, Fetty, you want to face the wrath of the Mingler?
But I was just gonna say, like, in this multiverse, it's shown that like the universes are separated from each other by like an unquantifiable amount, and Goku never gets to interact with them. He really only gets to interact with like their own macrocosm the first time, and then after that, he learns to control the God power, and he never distributes destructive capacity ever again in Super. He just uses AP, so it's kind of hard to like. Outside of like direct statements, it's kind of hard to argue feats.
So guides say Kid Buu's greater than all other Buus?
That's wrong, because guides don't take priority over the main source material, unfortunately. And Buhan has consistent feats of beating characters that are as strong or can tangle with Buu.
Okay.
Guides say that Super Saiyan 3 Goku wasn't strong enough to beat Kid Buu, despite the fact that he vaporizes him multiple times in the fight and simply doesn't have enough energy to make an energy blast that's thick enough to consistently vaporize him so that he can't regenerate.
Apparently, versus Battle, you get their DMC downgrade after all. What do you mean they'll get their DMC? Have they already started the argument? I'll show up right now.
He's definitely more dangerous than Buhan, because Buhan's just like, I don't have a reason to blow up the universe. I at least sort of kind of enjoy living here because I want to fight someone stronger than me, or as strong as me.
Gotta get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's where I think I have to. Here's where I'm gonna explain Mangler a little bit here in case you're not fully grasping Mangler's like statement. Vegito is confirmed to be stronger than Super Saiyan 3, and Buhan could sort of fight Vegito and take blows from him. So it wouldn't make sense for Kid Buu.
Buhan could fight Super Vegito. What the
No, well, okay, hang on. Well, to be fair, he gets his ass kicked regardless in either version. I'm just saying Vegito because, like, the anime does have a little Vegito fight, but fair enough, I guess.
Sure, but in the manga, there still is that moment when Buhan does get enraged. Granted, it's at his full strength, but he gets enraged and he makes the barrier, and Super Vegito actually has to try to break through it. So he actually has to, like, attempt. Super Saiyan 3 Goku didn't have to go anywhere near that level. He's just like, Kamehameha. And Kid Buu is like vapor. like literal vapor.
Like,
If the beam had just been bigger, he'd been able to condense it for a longer period of time. He would have completely fucking vaporized him.
no, okay.
I don't know where like this argument is that like
That's
he can't even beat him.
that's why I'm saying like the guides may say that fucking Kid Buu is fucking stronger, but that directly contradicts what we're shown and directly contradicts all the other scaling in the verse regarding that specific area.
Yeah. In DBZ Kai, they try to make this like statement where it's just like, what's it called? The Supreme Kai. Was it in DBZ Kai or it's in the original dub? One of or in the original subbed for Dragon Ball.
Doesn't Seth agree? I want to make a note. Fetty will you can make a note.
I'd be surprised if he did.
I mean,
Seth is
the Dragon Ball guy, absolutely.
Sure, but like he can be wrong. Also, I'm sure Seth does agree that statements are trumped by feats because statements are tied to a credibility.
Okay, hang on. Is the downgrade already on versus Battle Wiki? Like, have they already revealed it, or?
It's probably revealed, but hasn't gone through.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because if they've already revealed it, like.
He says he's stronger than all other Buu. Yeah, well, that's already wrong because Supreme Kai, the person who was a witness to his strength, was convinced that Fat Buu was the greatest threat to the universe, and Fat Buu was only twice as strong as a rusty Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who they didn't even know the capabilities of. They didn't even know Super Saiyan 2 existed. So you can't take the statements of a person who has. It's not like he said one thing wrong and it's just like, oh, I think this country lives on this part of the planet. They're like, well, no, that's wrong. And then they started talking about a completely different discussion. No, they're talking about the same thing consistently throughout the show, throughout that arc. And Supreme Kai has consistently demonstrated on multiple occasions. Yeah, I think the Pui Pui is the strongest in the universe. Vegeta blows them to pieces. I mean, you're technically not wrong. He was one of the strongest fighters in the universe. It's just the difference between the third or fourth and the fifth or sixth is literally like millions to billions of times.
Was he really all that strong? Like, I know they don't give him a power level, but like, was he like
he's that strong because Kai said he was. He doesn't actually have any feats. His strongest feat was existing on a planet with 10 times normal gravity. That was his feat. And then there's like, well, Yakon, strongest.
I love how Saiyans have the same shit.
I'm just like, wow, that's impressive. Saiyans already existed on, like, Planet Vegeta already has 10 times Earth's normal gravity. So Vegeta was doing that, was bench pressing that weight, like, as a child.
So since TGS is in about a week, what's your prediction? Oh, the game show's still going on? Who the fuck's gonna be in it?
I know, Mingler's just making a note. The guides don't say if Kid Buu surpassed Buu with the people of Thor. I don't even think Kid Buu surpassed Super Buu.
Damn.
I'm not even willing to grant that. He obviously beat Fat Buu. He demonstrated it. But the thing is, like...
Nah, Fat Buu was just hungry.
Like, there's already statements in the mod. Like, all the... even Chuck did a video, I think, where he did all the versions of Buu. He puts Buuhan and he puts Buu Tanks above Kid Buu. His controversial decision is that he just put Kid Buu above Super Buu, and the arguments for why he said that was because of the Spirit Bomb, which doesn't work because Frieza. For two, was because of the Supersonic Warriors, who aren't canon to the manga.
What?
Yeah, so remember when Goku and Vegeta go inside, like, Buu?
Yeah. To
get the Z Fighters out? And there's that one scene in the anime where they fight Gohan, and then Vegeta fights Piccolo and Gotenks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's anime only.
Well,
doesn't happen in the manga.
Obviously that one's anime fucking only. Imagine having to draw that shit.
Yeah, so, and there's basically statements, I think, from some guys on the anime clarifying, like, how strong those characters are. That they're
even Goku and Vegeta State Boost Key went higher. Ooh, Mango, you want? Mango, is that lady?
Well, it's great. It's great that they stated that, but unfortunately, they also stated prior, like literally prior to that they were incapable of fighting after they directly absorbed. Like, see, we're gonna have to compare two statements relatively to each other within the same time frame. They state he's stronger than any Buu they've ever faced. Okay. But literally 5 seconds ago, 5 seconds ago, they established that they had fought stronger Boos who have better feats, again, better feats than, oh, this guy is just stronger than everyone we've seen. Well, that statement needs to be backed up with evidence. Because unfortunately, this Kid Buu is also the Buu that Supreme Kai has been claiming is the danger of the universe, who he was wrong about 8 to 10 times throughout the Buu arc. So you now need new feats to demonstrate that because your credibility is shattered. I know Goku and Vegeta are more credible, but they're making a claim about the same contentious person. So this topic is becoming very not valid. Like, you really need to have a much stronger burden of proof there. And you can't even claim that for Super Buu. Hang on.
No, that's what this was just saying. Like, Reggie's just saying, like, you're like, actually.
Like, in the case of Super Buu, what you have to demonstrate is that Goku and Vegeta, after ripping, freaking Gohan? Again, Gohan, Piccolo, and Gotenks out of their freaking containers, and saying, which they stated in the manga, that, oh, therefore, they're much too strong for me to handle. Like, we're still too strong for Buu to handle Buu. Okay. And I thought, well, maybe we need something to back that up. Luckily for us, Super Buu actually appears inside his own body and bullies the shit out of Goku. So for you to then be like, well, Kid Buu's stronger. I mean, I seem to recall Goku bullying the shit out of Kid Buu for a while. In fact, if you want to take the anime, he actually fights him in Super Saiyan 2 for most of the fight. Then he goes into 3. Manga, he goes straight to 3. He never uses 2. But he still bullies the shit out of him. Everybody's just like, well, he barely lost. Yeah, like, he barely lost.
Wait, hang on. Doesn't he try to use Super Saiyan 3 on Super Buu and that doesn't work either? Or doesn't he say like Super Saiyan 3 is not going to work on Super Buu? Like,
no, he uses Super Saiyan 3 on Buu when he's absorbed Gotenks. And it doesn't work either. But we know it wouldn't work because, like, well, for one, Gotenks already has statements in the guides that I can use these because there's nothing that contradicts them in the manga or the anime, that he's surpassed Vegeta. So when he goes into Super Saiyan 3, we can definitely confirm he's somewhere near the level of Goku, because Goku should only be roughly 4 times stronger than him, since their Super Saiyan 2 forms were roughly the same. Like, they already said and they demonstrated through a fight that lasted for multiple pages that they were equal to each other. So therefore, you would have to conclude that Goku... Yeah, you would have to conclude that Goku is roughly 4 times stronger than him in Super Saiyan 3, because the Daizenshu states and confirms that Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times stronger than 2. I thought you hated
guides, Mangler.
I hate guides when they contradict the source material. And they make claims based on authority that they don't have, which is that my authority supersedes this. Stating evidence about something that hasn't been talked about is not the same thing as, like, making a claim on what's already existing.
Isn't Squall your favorite character? I could have sworn he was, like, your favorite character. I talked a lot of shit about him. Pretty sure he was.
Supreme Kai, when he said about the real Buu, he always referred to Kid Buu. I know there's a bunch of universes and danger statements.
Wait, hang on, Mangler.
Did Mangler just say Super Saiyan 3 Kid? No. I've said that before, that if Super Saiyan 3 Goku just simply had more energy, he could make a beam that was big enough and could condense it enough for long enough. Like, if they were fighting each other in Otherworld, I'm convinced that with a little bit of time, preparation, and meditation, he probably would have just vaporized Buu. It would have taken him a lot of energy, but he could have done it because he would have been able to sustain the form long enough.
I've grown tired of spamming his LD, so I'm kind of sick of seeing it. What about when his rework comes out and all you see is nothing but his LD? I understand. I get it.
Either way, Super Buu already demonstrates in both the manga and the anime that he's going to kill Goku inside Buu's body. And at that point, Goku has already recovered from the fight. So if you want to say, well, he's got a Zenka. Okay, so this Goku is actually just as strong as the one that fights Kid Buu then. And Super Buu is like, I'm gonna blast your fucking face. And Vegeta's like, all right, I better rip down Fat Buu from this membrane.
Wait, hang on. Actually, hang on a minute. I was trying to remember why. So Reggie asked, why would Buu transform into a weaker form? Super Buu does not willingly go into Fat Buu. You know that, right? Like, he loses Fat Buu, and that forces him to go back into Kid Buu state. He
even tries to stop Vegeta. He says, "Don't do it. If you don't do that, I won't be me anymore." Because he doesn't want to become Kid Buu. Because he actually, due to Fat Buu being there, he actually has some intelligence, some intellect, and like some purpose. He lives to fight stronger opponents, and that's what he likes doing. But if you take that away from him, he won't be who he is, which is what he means when he says, "I won't be me anymore." Now, granted, I am quoting the dubbed of the original Z, but the Kai and the manga basically say more or less the same thing. That he will become someone other than himself. And he doesn't want that.
We deliberately see
it. Yeah, we literally see it. So he's proven correct. So not only does he try to kill the person who's interfering with his body and taking away his power immediately after, because this is shown when they start cutting down Gohan and the other characters, he starts losing all of his powers, and he's like, "What is going on?" And then he's like, "Oh, something must be detaching the powers from within my body." And then he goes inside to inspect and finds Goku and Vegeta in there. He's like, "Wow,
what the fuck are you losers doing?"
Guess you're ready to die. And Vegeta, guess what? Goku doesn't go Super Saiyan 2 or 3 or is capable of doing anything to him. He just almost dies. Guess what? Kid Buu shows up. Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, doing just fine. Takes a lot of energy, he's tired, but can actually fight him and doesn't get one shot. Because Kid Buu doesn't have a reason to hold back. The only time he does is when he gets bored, but he was not.
But if he's stronger, then he should resist? What?
If he's stronger, then he should resist? Well, see, the problem is that membrane, like the point of the sense of identity, and that power comes from, what's it called? Fucking Buu or Super Buu being there. Like Super Buu is literally, or not from Super Buu, from Fat Buu, and it's attached to a membrane. That's what allows it to connect with the rest of his body and give him purpose. If you take that down, it's no longer connected inside of his body. It just happens to be located in there. This would be like saying that, oh, my organs work inside of my body when I've detached the membranes in there because they happen to just be inside my body. Like what? All bacteria inside my body works for me because they're located there? That's not how that works.
Do you guys... Wait, do your organs not work when they're separated?
No, I mean, like...
That seems like some weakness you need to work out there, Mangler.
Oh.
Imagine,
like if you have an organ that only works,
needing your heart to be connected for it to work. Imagine.
Well, imagine an organ that only performs its functions or properties as a result of being directly connected to you, gets cut off, and then someone asks, well, it's in your body. Shouldn't you just resist?
Shouldn't you just resist having your organ removed?
Shouldn't I have it being removed inside my body from something at the microscopic level?
Wow. Is it more to co-op?
Never would have thought about that.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. But, like, when I finish with this book, we can do some co-op of this, no problem. Imagine your heart's being torn out. Why aren't you resisting?
Which Buu is stronger, Majin Buu, Evil Buu, or Kid Buu? When you say Majin Buu, which Buu are you referring to? Just say Fat Buu, or just say, like, Mr. Buu or something? Because Majin, you realize throughout the entire manga, they never refer to... I don't know if they ever refer to Buu as Kid Buu. They just call him Majin Buu.
Zimatorn, you think Kajiro from Records of Ragnarok can beat Adam? Pornhub Buu or Zimatorn Buu? What the fuck?
Well, Fat Buu is definitely the weakest. That's established when he gets split in half, that he's weaker than the evil side. And when he fights the evil side, he actually gives him a piece of his body to restrict him in combat. He throws it over there to like restrain him, and then Evil Buu consumes it and becomes more powerful.
Is Kajiro from Records of Ragnarok? Is Kajiro the person fighting right now? The guy who's fighting what's his face? Who's fighting Shiva? I
would assume since Fat Buu actually like had to Evil Boo had to fight Fat Boo, that he would be weaker than Kid Boo, and obviously would be weaker than Super Boo, because Super Boo is just the fusion of Evil Boo and Fat Boo.
Oh, the one that fought Poseidon? No. Me and Kyle basically already sort of talked about it. The guy who fought Poseidon is really good. Like, let's basically everyone reckon Ragnarok is fucking like top tier when it comes to abilities and shit. But that's not going to matter because Adam definitively proves superior feats, and he'd just be able to copy any of this guy's attacks whatsoever. Now,
Super Boo has consistent feats of being stronger than Kid Boo. All of Kid Boo's feats consist of him losing to the same Goku with less effort. While Kid Boo's like, Super Boo's like, I'm just gonna kill the same Goku with no effort.
Okay, so a little bit of a spoiler because me and Kyle do plan on doing this after we're done with Record Ragnarok fights to discuss like who beat who. A little bit of a spoiler. As of right now, we basically both agree that Adam would stomp out basically everybody but Zeus. Now, Shiva still might show something off that might make us change our mind. But like as of right now, no human has shown up to show anything that makes us think, oh yeah, they can probably take on Adam.
The skinny Fat Boo versus evil skinny Boo? Wait, you mean like Boo after he did the training in Dragon Ball Super? I don't actually remember what his feats were. But given the wanking, the unjustified levels of bullshit that Dragon Ball Super gives to most of its characters in terms of power boosts near the end of the show, I would be willing to say good Boo in Dragon Ball Super is probably stronger than Evil Boo. I mean, Seth literally did a video, I think, on like he didn't put like Kid Boo. No. He didn't put Super Boo. He put Boo Han up against Mr. Boo from Dragon Ball Super.
Jack the Ripper is because he's getting his breath. Okay, guys, hold on to these questions because we're gonna be here for a while. And when Kyle shows up, we can have a more like direct discussion on it. When Kyle inevitably shows up like an hour later. So hold on to these for now. But if you guys want, in the Poseidon versus what's his face video, me and Kyle will talk about whether or not he can fight Adam, or whether like we'll start scaling them backwards to see who'd win or lose. If you guys want to start doing that now from like this video going forward.
My phone's about to die, but Kid Boo stated a bunch of times, even outside of guides, of being stronger than Super Boo. Yep, and statements are tied to credibility. Unfortunately, these are statements about the same character who Supreme Kai has been wrong about. Even if the statements are being made by another person, all the information that was given was wrong.
If your phone's does that mean you're gonna? Does that mean you're gonna fucking like what's gonna happen there? Like, what are you talking about? Are you gonna be able to swap over to like something else? Or are you just gonna like?
Oh, maybe. What Supreme Kai was always referring to Kid Boo. Yes, and he was still wrong. even if he was referring to Kid Boo, Super Saiyan 3 Goku literally demonstrates that if he had more energy, he would have fucking vaporized him. As demonstrated when he uses the Spirit Bomb, which even though the Spirit Bomb's stronger than him, as soon as Goku gets his energy back, he just force pushes it, and Boo's just like, I guess I'll die, and fucking explodes.
I have not been working on anything for the channel or anything
what
in general.
What incredible feat, Super Boo. Fetty, did you watch the manga or the anime? Like, Super Boo literally is going to kill Goku inside of his own body. Okay? He's holding an energy blast to his face, and he's about to murder him.
Vegeta fucking holds him
Vegeta's just like, hey, don't do that, or this'll happen.
Yeah, okay, so, Reggie, even though Poseidon is stated to be the Zeus of the seas, that doesn't help anything, because that's such a weird fucking statement. Because, does that mean, like, he's the strongest god of the sea in general? Does that mean he rules over the seas like Zeus rules over everybody? Like, what the fuck does that mean? And me and Kyle had to discuss that, because that's a problem that occurs.
Goku isn't even Super Saiyan 2. And you don't seem to get my point. He made a statement literally earlier, and then demonstrated it in reality. That if they left their body, they would be finished. They would lose. Both of them wouldn't be a match for Boo unless they fused. Of course, they do mention without fusion we wouldn't do this. And then Boo shows up in the body. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
It's like, oh, you guys can't fuse anymore, so now I guess I can clap your cheeks, no problem.
Also, Goku, understand that while Goku isn't in Super Saiyan 2, like, Vegeta is also still in Super Saiyan, so, like, you really would have to make a really, like, hard working argument to suggest that Kid Boo's, like, stronger as a result of this, when a statement was literally made 5 pages before. As opposed to Boo, who has multiple statements of being the strongest,
Okay.
but every single one of these statements is disproven by either Supreme Kai's credibility, as a result of like feats being demonstrated that suggest otherwise, to every single example of Boo, not just well, okay, other than Fat Boo and Evil Boo, of course.
Okay. So yes, Hermes apparently claims he did not see an attack from Poseidon. That's fair.
Jesus, that's light. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
What?
my battery's running low, but it's going back up.
Wait, are you charging it or?
Yes, I'm charging it.
Well, geez, don't get fucking mad at me. Jeez. As the man of the household, you still have the right to get mad at me. Oh. No. Here's the problem. Just because he could counter Poseidon with scanning doesn't mean that's going to work on Adam either, because Adam just copies his moves. Mangler really loves Boo.
I don't like Boo. He's actually my least favorite villain in Dragon Ball.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yes.
So you like Raditz better?
I choose to rectify that statement. Everyone but Raditz. And maybe the Cybermen.
Abyss, there's not too many spoilers. I haven't mentioned who wins or who loses. I've only I guess I mentioned the third fight, but have you not read the manga? Because I'll stop talking about it if you haven't read the manga.
Also just villains, not necessarily antagonists. I do actually like, as far as antagonists go, I do like the androids a little bit better than Boo. Because they actually have, like, personality.
That doesn't... You can't prepare for Adam, because Adam just copies your bullshit! So, like, he's like, alright, Adam, I'm gonna scan all your moves. Wait,
I'm hearing a lot of spoilers for Ragnarok. I do think Frieza has a better, like, arc. Or maybe not an arc. There's a better, like, hype and build up to him than Cell. Because Cell to me is, like, probably second best.
No. Hermes is not fighting. Or at the very least, Hermes is not listed to... No, you can't adapt to Adam, because Adam adapts to... Adam is a reactive fighter. Kajiro's ability only successfully worked because Poseidon was so aggressive and allowed him to scan him. You don't get that with Adam, because Adam directly immediately reacts to you.
I wouldn't call Cell an antagonist either. He's a psycho.
Dude, all Adam has...
Most villains are antagonists. Because most villains are usually contrast to the protagonist. There are some shows that view the protagonist as evil, as like the villain. Because you can be the story, the focus of the story, and be the villain.
Adam is the embodiment of the communist dream, because it's no longer your abilities, it's our abilities.
Because just to be the antagonist, that simply just means that you are counter to what the main point of view is focusing on. So a good example of this would be like Death Note, where Light Yagami is clearly the villain, and he's the main character because he's considered a force of evil.
Gerard,
by most of the story.
If it does make you feel any better, the only person as of right now, at least unless Kyle wants to disagree with me, the only person who could beat Kajiro as of right now among the humans is only Adam, if that makes you feel any better. If he wasn't fighting Adam or Zeus, Kajiro would probably win.
The Miss Hunter's like, I'm hearing a lot of Ragnarok spoilers.
No, I understand that.
I read a little bit of it at the beginning. I was like, all right, it's whatever.
Yeah, and then Mangler never got into it, I guess, because Mangler doesn't have good taste. I should have told him Adam was the embodiment.
The links were just... my links to the record of Ragnarok scans were bad.
I'm sorry.
I think Cell was better written than Boo.
I think Cell was better written than most, if not all, of the antagonists in Dragon Ball. Hermes is the butler, but Hermes has statements that imply he's a lot stronger than most gods, but there's no direct confirmation for it.
I don't know if I'd say I would I don't know if I would agree with that. Definitely better than Boo, but I wouldn't say he's
No,
better than
okay.
Frieza.
So you're assuming Zeus's attacks are comparable to or weaker than Poseidon's, but Zeus ruled over all the gods. There's a very good chance that Zeus's attacks just hit way harder than Poseidon's. Poseidon also needed a weapon as well.
Can you blame a character for being born in a way he didn't choose to be born, like a villain? It has nothing to do with the way Cell's born. What the fuck are you... Zelda, do you understand how a person is written as a villain? The story just has to determine that you are the net negative.
Okay, Abyss Hunter.
You don't need to be against the focus of who is the story. You just need to be the net negative. You need to be considered, like, your total actions need to be equivalent of being evil, which is that the mass majority of what you do and your effects in the world need to be portrayed as negative.
Hermes could also just be immune to time stop. Like, keep in mind that Hermes could just be immune to time stop as well. That might not even be a speed thing. He could just have immunity to time stop, unlike the other gods. That's entirely
Cell
possible.
is an android. He doesn't have a human conscience that makes him feel sorry. Those aren't villains either. That's not how it works. It doesn't matter if you have a conscience. You do understand that the world doesn't give a fuck. The humans in Dragon Ball don't give a fuck whether or not he has a conscience. They care about his actions. That's what determines he's a villain in the story.
I mean, it's already weird that Hermes
the idea of
one
what evil and good have to do with the totality of your actions in writing. It has nothing to do with your conscience or your concept of morality. It's irrelevant. So that's already wrong.
No, it's basically confirmed that the only person who saw it was Adam and Hermes. Because unless Shiva has a statement, because Shiva wasn't there to see it, Shiva might have been able to resist the time stop, but as far as we know, the only people who could would be Zeus, Adam, and Hermes.
Technically, you can be the villain and the antagonist and still be the main character of the story. I would be... Would you like to show me an example of that? Because the antagonist is the person that's contrary to the protagonist, and the protagonist is the main focus of the story. You can be a main character in the story, as long as you aren't the main focus, as long as you show up just sometimes. Sure, but there's not too many examples in writing and story and fiction, or, I guess, non-fiction as well.
Okay, so you're asking for an antagonist and still be the main character of the story.
Being without a conscience
Zeus
can't
surpassed
decide his
all
actions.
time, and he also confirmed it was an ability he learned from his father, because his father was able to stop time. Kronos was the personification of time. So
being without conscience can't decide his actions. Well, that's already wrong, because Cell does have a conscience. Cell literally decides that he's like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna fucking like Cell has the ability to independently determine his actions. Like, he decides very specifically that he's like, yeah, I'm just going to start a tournament because I thought it would be really fun fighting. And then halfway through the tournament, he's like, yeah, well, actually, I just want to blow up the planet because I'm losing.
They're bringing in their OCs now. Now you're going to tell them their OC's antagonist.
Oh, boy. To be fair, Dragon Ball characters aren't that deep, so you can just deduce who is evil and who is good and call it a day. Well, they aren't that deep. I'm just trying to say Cell's actions are more relative to what he's doing. Okay. If you want to say he's not responsible for those actions, then who is? When Dr. Gero is already dead.
You are arguing. So let's assume he's not immune to time stop. You're arguing an ability an ability that is not infinite speed and doesn't even have speed statements backing it up is faster than an infinite speed punch bare minimum.
Azar only saves Valerie from an arranged marriage to prove he was powerful. So are you saying he's a villain, Manger? I don't know anything about the story, so I'd have to know. I'm not taking the bait on something I know nothing about. That's not how this works.
Mangler backing off like, miss me with that bullshit.
What do you mean backing off? Like, just because
Mangler's over here ascending to the heavens like, miss me with that shit. Say that again because I just heard a bunch of BS. Sorry if my goals are beyond your understanding.
Cell being a narcissist just does what he does to survive. If Goku didn't get him angry, he wouldn't have wanted to kill the Earth.
Okay.
No, if Cell didn't do what he did, then he wouldn't have gotten killed by Goku or anyone else.
Here's the problem. We have a feat that is very clearly superior to everything shown in Ragnarok speed-wise, and then we just have a statement from Hermes saying I couldn't see an attack from Poseidon despite it having none of the same attributes or anything. So either A, you admit Zeus stopped time, and that just Hermes is immune to it, or B, we have a conflict of statement versus feat here.
Also, Cell didn't have to absorb all those cities. He only had to absorb enough to reach his normal biomass.
But
And
guys,
it was established that he went through more than enough cities to get his biomass. So
guys.
he was killing people in excess. So that's already fucking
No, because
false.
Poseidon doesn't demonstrate the time stop that Zeus did, so it can't be infinite speed. That being said, guys, let's try and wait for Kyle to show up in like 30 minutes. That would mean he'd be immeasurable. There's no evidence
Especially
to prove
since
that.
Cell was convinced that if he absorbed one singular android, he would have been powerful enough
He
to
doesn't
get
need
them.
to. You can't be stronger in infinite speed than infinite speed. That's literally how infinite speed works.
And even if you want to say that Cell wasn't strong enough to fight the androids when he found Piccolo, which is true, he didn't know how strong the androids were, and he was convinced he was going to get them anyway.
Zeus performs an infinite speed feat at bare minimum. The problem is that Hermes could see that attack, and he can't see an attack from Poseidon. So what Gerard is trying to argue, and Gerard, if I'm wrong, please correct in the comments. Gerard is trying to argue that since Hermes could see the punch from Zeus, but couldn't see an attack from Poseidon, that Poseidon is faster than that punch.
Zeka, when I say absorb a city, that means he literally went to the city and absorbed every single person.
The problem with
he did it consistently, like dozens of times. That was the main focus of the Cell arc, was that he was going around absorbing entire cities of people.
The problem,
he knew he didn't need that biomass.
He
states it himself that he got more than enough biomass, so that's already wrong.
Also, it is worth noting that when Zeus performs that infinite speed punch, that's not Zeus at full power. Adam later on matches Zeus at full power, and that Zeus should be faster than the infinite speed punch because that's his full power. So even if you want to argue otherwise, it's still a little weird. Well, technically, Zeus says he just... guys, wait for Kyle so I can... wait for Kyle so I can...
When does Super Buu lose to Super Saiyan 1 Goku and Vegeta? I'm gonna need some scans for that because they never fight except that one moment when they're inside Boo's belly, and Boo beats the shit.
Yeah, haven't you guys seen the Abridged series? Cell took an entire football team at the same time.
No, they do not. He does not beat Super Buu. That is incredibly wrong. The reason Vegeta cuts down the membrane is because Super Buu is about to kill Goku.
The biggest problem with the Poseidon scaling, and we'll talk about that in the video, me and Kyle will make the video, is that he has statements that aren't direct enough to actually scale him. That's where the problem comes in. He just needed one statement saying he's equal to Zeus, and we would have been fine.
I didn't know that, probably because I don't watch Dragon Ball a lot of time. Look, I know a lot of people don't watch Dragon Ball. I'm just reciting what I know, what I've seen from memory, because I've seen these shows a million times, and I've read the manga at least twice.
Are you saying Super Saiyan 4 is better than Super Saiyan Blue? Because it totally is.
I didn't say that, but I would definitely argue it. I like the design more.
Super Saiyan 4 was just a better design overall. Super Saiyan Blue is lazy as fuck.
Blue color palette, guys. Ooh. Sorry, I just wanted to make that sound.
Okay, you can argue well, it's because you can't even argue Poseidon's relative to Zeus, because in the backstory for Poseidon, the fourth brother specifically has to get all of the Olympians, or at least half of them, and Poseidon to fight Zeus.
This is like the only version of like Greek mythology in any capacity that I have no idea what people are talking about now.
So understand that the brother to Poseidon is like, hey, I got so many gods on my side, I just need you, and then we'll finally have enough power to challenge Zeus. That would imply that while Poseidon is certainly more valuable than most, he by himself wouldn't have been able to challenge Zeus. Although, to be fair, Poseidon does immediately kill his brother. No, because you would have to assume he's stronger than Shiva and shit. We don't know what the tier is. All we know is that Zeus sits at the top, and presumably Poseidon's like in the top 10. Well, actually, everyone's in the top 10 because there's the 10 fighters fighting for their fucking rank. Everyone's in the top 10. We just don't know where Poseidon sits at in the top 10 yet. I was going to say, wait, of course they're in the top 10. They all got picked. Broly is basically Super Saiyan 4. Ozru power first somewhere around the body. Oh, Super Saiyan 4 Broly is great. Super Saiyan 3 Broly is also really good too.
I don't like those versions of Broly. Broly is Legendary Super Saiyan is the only Broly that exists. at all in my mind.
I mean, Poseidon could probably fight Zeus. I'm not saying he couldn't, but we just don't. I do believe Adam would win, but it wouldn't be.
You can argue Goku and Vegeta fight Buhan inside. That's already wrong because they fought him outside and they lost. So able to fight him inside his body where his defenses would be weaker.
Well, look. I'm not saying to be a stomp for Adam. I'm not talking about how easy the fight would be. I'm just saying Adam would win regardless. Because Adam just directly counters basically also, everybody for now.
Fetty, when I use guides to explain why someone might be wrong about something or why I might be correct about something, I back it up with a feat that's not contradicted in the series. Like, it's shown that Gotenks can't beat Super Buu. That he's not strong enough. And he's a Super Saiyan 3 at that point.
Well, don't worry.
His base is vastly beyond a Super Saiyan.
When me and Kyle do the video, we'll talk about that. Don't worry. We will talk about that in detail, because this is not going to be an easy video to do, because Poseidon's a really lackluster character in terms of the actual, like, what we get from him. It's all basically statements with him, and not all those statements are very good.
Even though he wasn't able to kill Super Buu, he still was able to blow him up extremely thoroughly in Super Saiyan 1.
I like how
and it was confirmed in those guides that he surpassed every single person before him. Or that he surpassed everyone including Vegeta. He didn't mention Goku, but he surpassed Vegeta, which includes Super Saiyan 2. And Buu still couldn't be killed by him. So you'd have to assume Super Buu is stronger than Super Saiyan 2. This is consistent because Fat Buu was already stronger than Super Saiyan 2. So you'd really just have to prove that Super Buu is more than 4 times stronger.
You're gonna find out that Adam, instead of Adam getting his fucking brass knuckle, he's gonna get a belt so he can fucking spank his child in the fight.
You'd have to prove he's more than what's it called? 4 times stronger than Super Saiyan 2, or 4 times stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, when Fat Buu already demonstrated he was several times stronger. So, I mean, that's not hard to do considering they were split almost directly in half, and then they fused and then made Super Buu.
I like how we're having 2 separate conversations right now on this stream.
There's a guide saying Goku is 1/100th of Mystic Gohan. Well, again, there are guides that are correct because they actually back up what happens in the main continuity.
Mangler, I don't like Buu. Also Mangler, defending Buu to death. Ooh, Mangler, what's your response?
Guys, when you say silly things, I have to, like, say not silly things to debunk how silly those silly things are.
Damn.
Because silliness. And sometimes there are guides that say stuff like, you know, Kakashi's omnipotent. And sometimes, just a possibility, those statements can be wrong.
Oh, that's clean. Fuck, I should pull them. That was pretty clean. Look, Mangler. Are you saying Kakashi's not omnipotent? Are you saying Kakashi's not the strongest character in Naruto?
Look. Wait, we're having, how many conversations? So we're having Buu stuff, Record of Ragnarok stuff, people still arguing about what is a hero, a villain. Guys, one conversation at a time.
If you're weak, perhaps.
Well, I'm just saying that's one example. You could give an example like the one you just did where Goku is 1/100th of Mystic Gohan. There's also ones that are just not that hyperbolic, but are still contradictory to what happens, like, you know, Kid Buu being stated as the strongest Buu.
Fetty, you better fucking change your statement on that immediately before I fucking destroy you.
Like Kid Buu being, even if you disagree with Super Buu being stronger or weaker, whatever the case is,
okay.
no one here believes that Buu-Tanks or Buhan is actually, like, weaker than Kid Buu.
No, okay, so,
despite 100 different guides confirming that.
Allow me to explain the difference between a hero, anti-hero, and villain real fast, because I do literature and I'm trying to write stories, so I'll try and, like, provide the best context.
Oh, we got an expert here.
Do you want Mangler? Do I need to put on some glasses and push them up for you?
That would be kind of funny, though. You could totally do that. I won't laugh or anything, I promise.
You'll laugh, won't you? You always embarrass me.
It's okay. I'll give you the time. Go ahead. Okay. Run along now.
Okay, so back to it. A hero is a character who is ultimately selfless and is willing to do anything really for what you would consider to be a greater good or good in general. They also do feel remorse for most of their actions that are inherently super negative, and they usually are just supposed to rise above everything. Anti-heroes are characters who just do whatever the fuck they want, but you know they're ultimately not just evil for the sake of being evil or bad. Like, you know, most of their actions have a net positive. So Mangler is Zim's grandma. Apparently, Mangler is something based on what the fuck Discord keeps
Also something about anti-heroes is that generally they cannot fulfill the role of an anti-hero while also being the antagonist. They usually have to do a transition to become the antagonist because they are contrast to the person who is moving the change in the story.
You can have an anti-hero character be an antagonist, but they would be more considered a rival or just an antagonist at that point. They wouldn't really be considered a...
well, I'm saying they can become that, but they have to shift the role.
Yeah.
They have to transform into what an antagonist is, because both of those roles kind of like contradict each other a little bit.
I get you. A villain is where things get complicated, because a villain is not necessarily the antagonist. A villain is just who's ever performing the most evil, heinous actions, or the most negative net actions in a story, and that happens to be the most prominent character. Not all heroes and selfish and shit, then they're not a hero then.
It can be made obvious, or it can be made a little bit more nuanced or subtle, that the story, or the characters in the story, make it clear that X person is X amount of evil, and therefore they are a villain. Like, it needs to be made clear to the reader in some way or another that what that person is doing is evil or wrongful, or at least both of their
also heroes.
By that distinction, they would be villains.
Heroes need to be constantly trying to better themselves as well. That's also a category in there that may be interesting to note as well. Okay. We can go
but being the villain also doesn't guarantee that you're going to be the antagonist, and being an antagonist doesn't guarantee that you're going to be the villain. There are many antagonists that we talked about on this channel that are not necessarily evil.
Like Handsome
They
Jack.
are just they are just against whoever is the focus of the story. A common example I use is Virgil from Devil May Cry 3, because he is not the focus of the story. Dante is. We hardly see any of his motivations at all. He just happens to be against whoever the focus of the story is, which is Dante.
I'm so hot. I know I am, Pimp Demon. Thanks for telling me.
And then when you look at his actions in the grander
totally
scheme of things in the franchise, he actually is shown to have most of his actions are shown to have net positives, including.
Ozra, I'm gonna need more time. I've been trying to hash out a big ol' essay for the past weekend, so I'm gonna need a bit more time. Okay, so hang on. What co-op do you want to do? I haven't done any of this shit. I've been slacking on this game so fucking.
So where would you put Azara? Or do you need more? I just need the entire story, but I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready to have a new fiction dropped down my pants just yet.
Oh please! The only fiction you've heard dropped in your pants was mine. It wasn't even like that long. It was only like 30 minutes.
You lasted 30 minutes? I remember it differently.
Oh wow! Wow.
More like 30 seconds. I'm sorry, I kid.
Okay, no, I meant to say, okay, it really depends as well. An anti-hero also, okay, so,
Why only DMC3, Virgil? I mean, there's several examples that I can think of.
Abyss, Abyss, why the fuck aren't you on?
I could think of more than a couple examples if I really went looking for them. Virgil is just the most obvious one that comes to mind because he's the one that I've obviously done the most research on.
Deborah versus Sparta equalized. Sparta be able to resist his actual... Gross!
I am the king of demons versus the one who will stop multiple different kings of demons and wake up to justice.
Let me bust out
I'm sorry, I had to say that.
Let's go through. Oh, wait, hang on. What are we doing here, Abyss? What are we doing here?
Why didn't you say DMC5 Virgil? Because DMC5 Virgil is
I'll use
more
her. I haven't used her
complicated.
in a while.
Still an antagonist and not a villain, but more complicated to talk about. Not as easy and accessible to talk about. Because then we have to talk about Urizen.
I'm liking that burst weapon. Here, let me bust out my other burst weapon just so we can have multiple bursts. Or where the fuck is this loser?
4B versus 2C. Yes. Yeah, you know Deborah. All those 2C feats.
We're gonna just go ahead and bring up a. We're just gonna go ahead and bring up a support character real fast.
Of him spitting on the universe and petrifying
We're
it.
doing this. No one's showing up.
Remember that, Zim? Remember when Deborah spit on the DBZ macrocosm and froze every single when he spit on all of the entire multiverse in Dragon Ball Super, and it was high 2C.
I remember. I remember that. Do you remember that? I remember that.
Even if I winked at Bor there, he'd still lose. He would still lose.
Oh, you think you're cool because you have voice lines? I have voice lines too, like,
Actually, if this was a contest of who can speak, Deborah would win, because Sparta doesn't have a voice in the DMC verse, so...
No. Equalize Sparta still wins. Like I already said, Sparta still wins regardless.
You know, so there's no context for Sparta. Sparta loses.
Prepare to have a real fucking...
Someone's gonna be like, alright, how about this? Alternate universe, poison, paralyzed so Sparta versus, like, Deborah.
The EX Plus is so fucking ass. Who designed this shit?
Well, Sparta's Yamato specifically has the power to cut and divide the darkness. But even still, he would just have greater AP, durability, all that stuff. He would also have sealing techniques. So, in addition to that, he'd have the power of Sparta and...
Well, no. He already said no Yamato or no Sparta, I believe. He basically... Abyss, you seriously disconnected? Are you kidding me?
If it's equalized, then he wouldn't have greater AP. Oh. Equalizing it?
Abyss,
Like
you better explain yourself, Abyss.
Well, even if we're equalizing it, then in terms of abilities, he would just be able to resist pretty much everything that the boar throws at him, including petrification. So it would just come down to him beating the shit out of Deborah, but Deborah doesn't have a healing factor. So, like most characters in Dragon Ball, unless they're shown to be. So Sparta would just simply outlast him. Killer Zeka, we don't scale DMC to 2A through cutting through time space. That's not. I don't know if that was the condition by which Ryan puts him at 2A, or I put him at 2A. You need Sparta heavy. You need to have Sparta heavy. Like, you have to need Sparta heavy. What is that sentence? I'm sorry.
Dad's him. I guess Mangler's the mom. I already said this on Discord. But I think Mangler would contest his placement there.
I actually wrote my response.
Did you?
And it was pretty simple. You're goddamn right.
Mangler's like, I wear the pants in this relationship.
That actually reminds me, I think Trish has a quote in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
When she beats Dante, she says, I guess we know who wears the pants in this relationship. I remember saying that to my brother because I thought it was funny that they had a character interaction, and he just looked at me all weird, and I'm like, why are you looking at me like that?
I bet everyone $100 that Bayonetta 3 won't be stronger. That's $1,000. That's like at least $1,300 you want to bet. Are you sure about that, boy? That's a ballsy bet to make. I will approve of your ballsy bet, but that's a ballsy bet.
We're arguing about Sparta being 2-8. Well, you do realize like everyone who scales DMC argues off of this. So why wouldn't Sparta be 2A by that logic since he beat Mundus? And then was like, I'm so strong, I need to seal myself multiple times. I need to give away all of my power.
My friends are trying to get me to play a game called fucking Among Us. Anyone ever play that game?
Mingler's the grandpa, probably. I fulfill multiple roles, whatever is necessary.
I did see Garland's BT, and I gotta say, looking pretty good. Okay, so I have some tickets, but I'm not sure if I want to spend. I'll spend 27 tickets to see if I can get his any of his weapons.
It's more so the fact that like the demon world in general, like you could argue it to being 2A based off the fact that the dimensions are already separated by an infinite number of space and time, and that the cumulative qualitative size of all those dimensions would eventually equal a an infinite number of like universes. It would be an amazing amount of like dimensions, but the demon world is confirmed to be infinite in size, and all we see when we go into the demon world is dimensions that are separated by space and time.
Infinite Demon
Therefore,
World
there
was
would be
not
half.
debunked. Even Cyber admits he didn't debunk and
Yeah,
kill his ass.
yeah. He said he got bored of it or something. I don't know, but regardless, if the demon world is confirmed to be infinite in size, and all we see is separated dimensions of space and time, we would have to conclude that there are a limitless number of dimensions that exist there. Not dimensions that ascend like reality, like fifth, fourth, sixth, seventh. Just an infinite number of dimensions in the fourth dimension inside the demon world. Meaning their cumulative size eventually, including all the space in between them, would have to equate to that of an infinite multiverse. Even if those dimensions themselves aren't universal in size, it wouldn't matter because eventually they would reach that number. Also, I don't even need to use that to argue DMC's 2A. I argue that it's 2A based off Mundus being capable of creating infinite and finite-sized space-time continuums with different time spaces, which is the criteria for 2C and 2B feeds. And since he can already make an infinite-sized universe, which require an infinite number of energy, I argue that he would be able to make an infinite number of finite universes that are separated from each other.
A fun game to like, because apparently it's $5 on Steam, but there's a free mobile version, so I'm not even sure if I should pick up the mobile version.
Pre-DMC5 Sparta versus post-DMC5 Sparta. We talking about the sword? Because I'm pretty sure Sparta's dead at the time of 5. Being 2A means destroying the entirety of fiction. Fiction doesn't make this argument right. An infinite universe can't have different time spaces separated by each other. Well, no, that's not necessarily true. You can be an infinite-sized universe and then have, like, separated time spaces. Like, there are finite-sized universes that have separated time spaces. Understand that, right? Like, the Marvel multiverse is a perfect example of this. It's literally a universe, like an infinite number of finite universes that each have their own dimensions inside that are all universal in size, some of which are infinite, some of which are finite. Like, each Marvel universe has its own hell, or each Marvel universe has its own Asgard, or, like, various, there's, like, locations of, like, each universe has its own infinity, eternity, death, that kind of thing. So that's not necessarily true. You can have different time spaces separated by each other.
Hey, so do you know, like, if you were to buy a game on Xbox and it's not backwards compatible with Xbox One, do you know if you can still play it on Xbox One? I know it's kind of like
where does the demon world have dimensions in it? Every single iteration of the demon world has different dimensions in it. Check DMC3. You go into mission 19, 18 are literally different dimensions accessed through time-space portals via the Samsara. And it's confirmed that you need, according to the statues, you need to access the Samsara to stabilize time, or time is going to loop indefinitely. They're literally, like, separated by those portals, and you can only access them through the portals. Also, the area in Mission 20 where you fight Virgil is literally just another dimension separated from the area in Mission 18. Because there's this giant, like, black void of, like, red and, like, pulsating demonic energy that's sitting in the sky. You can see it from Mission 18, but you literally just see the sky has a crack in it, and, like, there's, like, a wall, and the sky is just cracked open. So I would find a very hard time arguing that isn't a space-time when we already see examples of this exist in other dimensions and in DMC, like in the fucking, what's it called, with the Clyfoth creating, like, its own dimensions. Malphus creates their own dimensions as well. Nightmare creates his own dimensions. Like, various Demon Kings create their own dimensions. Debunking 1A, Mangla's forehead. My forehead is vast. Also, Zim, what happened to you?
Sorry, so I'm over here fucking trying to figure something out right now, because, so, you can buy a Fist of the North Star game on the Xbox 360 for the Xbox 360, but it's not, like, backwards compatible with Xbox One, so it's like, if I buy that for 360, does that mean I just don't get it in general? Like, I can't play on Xbox One at all, or, like, what happens there?
I don't know. hang on. I'll answer your question in a sec. I'm sorry I spelled it wrong. I mean, just being 2A is destroying the. Oh, hang on a sec.
Okay, so
Being 2A is destroying the. What is wrong with my thing? Is destroying the entirety of time, not infinite time. Destroying an infinite universe, but other universes still exist as not destroying infinite time, but as time by itself is a concept. Well, I never argued that destroying an infinite universe that's a fourth dimensional construct is the entirety of the fourth dimension. Because I never argued destroying an infinite universe allows you to transcend to the fifth dimension. I would only argue you're destroying time as we know it in the fourth dimension. If you were ascending to the fifth dimension, you had to do some stuff. I just disagree with the idea that I need to transcend an infinite multiverse, like what Neo claims. That's really my only disagreement, and that there's not that significant of a categorical difference between the infinite multiverse and a finite-sized fourth-dimensional universe. Because most infinite multiverses are not done on the fourth-dimensional level. They're literally three-dimensional universes, and the only fourth-dimensional aspect of them is the time that exists in between the universes. So that's my contention.
So Full Power Nightmare is 2A? Well, I mean, we can get them there already if you just accept.
Is it 4D regarded as linear time? Here we go.
Well, yeah, no problem. My God, Emperor.
Not that. Just discussions of linear time.
You guys are hurting Mangler now.
My multiverse consists of an infinite multiverse that keeps getting bigger, and a heaven and hell that transcends the universe, and a universe that floats outside of it. What tier is this construct?
Oh, okay. So they're adding Dante to League of Legends on the 21st. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, well, both space time and linear time can be 4D, because you can still have fourth dimensional space time constructs. It's just time in the fourth dimension is just viewed a little bit differently as it is in the third dimension, because the flow of time is different. Nightmare is equal to the Supreme Judge. Don't know who that is, but that sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
They're buffing
That sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
The Supreme Judge.
Because he claimed to destroy the demon world, which is infinite, and is basically a 4D space. Well, see, I just argue based off of the sheer amount of separated dimensions of space and time that would be equivalent to a 2A feat. Because the amount of space-time that separates all of them would be no different than that of an infinite multiverse. Because nobody knows literally nobody knows the difference between one infinite multiverse to another. We don't. The distance is unquantifiable in some cases. Well, there are some examples in ours where they're less. It's like what's it fucking called? We've seen evidence of a parallel universe next to ours where the distance isn't finite, or we have reason to believe they're next to us and close in proximity, but they'd still be separated by time, so we wouldn't be able to reach them. However, they'd be very close in proximity.
Perfect. Someone understands what you're saying, Mangler?
You have to destroy the entire concept to be 2D. Just destroying time as you know it, but not universal concept itself is only 2B. Well, no. That's not even actually true. You don't need to destroy the entirety of, like, the fourth dimension to be 2A. Like, you just need to destroy an infinite number of universes separated by space-time. But, like, even in those cases of those infinite multiversal feats, there's examples of it, like, all across fiction, of it not being, like, especially in Marvel and DC, as I use the various examples, where time is not being, like, affected. The only aspect of time that's being interacted with is the fact that the distance between the universes is being crossed because they're separated by boundaries of space and time.
Oh yeah, one for all still thing in this game.
Very hard to talk about this.
Nah, you're doing great. I was thinking
most
7D.
I was going to say most examples of 2A do not mention that you have to destroy time in its entirely. The reason why they mentioned an infinite multiverse is specifically because they want to prove that, therefore, if there's an infinite number of universes, then that you're destroying an unquantifiable amount of distance between them, ergo the time between their time spaces, that you're destroying the entirety of the fourth dimension, which is not how 2A works. That's not even remotely true, because there can be universes that exist outside of your infinite multiverse that still exist in the fourth dimension. So that's not like the two. Just what makes the two-way feet there is that you're potentially destroying an infinite number. Like you're potentially destroying time on a level that is greater than that. Is infinity stretched out to the like. It's hard to explain this. As it's still like potentially the same distance, like as far as like the space in between inside the universes would be the same as the space inside an infinite size universe. It's just that the space time in between universes would be greater than infinite, because it would not be accessible. Because the destroying one in the infinite universe is not as big. If we are including the spaces inside the universe, yes, it is. If we take out the time, if we literally took all of those universes, took out the space in between them, and connected them into one giant construct, it would be identical to one infinite-sized universe. If time is an infinite construct, then the other universes would disappear, as there would be no other universes. I'm just arguing there's not that much of a qualitative difference, because we can't quantify how much time is there. And in the case of the demon world, they already have an infinite number of dimensions that are all separated by an unquantifiable amount of time. You literally have to use portals or break through the fabric of reality in the demon world to get to one side to another. This is consistently shown in DMC's demon world all the time. Every time we show up in the demon world, we're in a different area, in a different looking place that's not connected to the one we were before. If I destroy infinite multiverses and each multiverse is an infinite universe, wait, hang on a sec. If I destroy an infinite number of multiverses and each multiverse is an infinite universes, am I infinite 2A? I don't know if that's exactly how that works. Because like 2A is considered by a lot of people to just be like infinite 4D. So I'm pretty sure you would already be infinite 4D by virtue of just destroying an infinite multiverse.
Wait, what's going on? If I destroy infinite multiverses, detailed multiverses, infinite universes, am I infinite 2A? Are you not infinite 2A?
We just refer to it as 2A, but Neo has argued that you can have various statements within 2A that put you various infinities. But he uses this argument for, I think, what's it called? It's like one of his avatars. It's a guy from Pokemon. It's like the creator of that universe. Arceus, yes. I would have to look into it. If it's not connected, then it doesn't have the same dimensional tiering.
You sure you want to see? I mean,
Batman.
Here's the problem. Like, basically, you need to prove, like, or you need to have, like, reasonable evidence to support the idea you are fifth dimensional before you can just go straight into fucking, like, 5D.
Yeah, well, in most cases, there's nothing that suggests you need to ascend past. Well, okay, obviously, if you're in the fifth dimension, you've ascended past infinite multiverses in the third and the fourth dimension. No question about that. There's nothing that directly says you have to perform those feats to get to 5D. There are plenty of characters that don't even go to 5D that are like 2C or like solar system. They're just like, hey, 1A now. Because the writer just decided that this was the case, that I just got to power up. And there's nothing... This happens all the time in Marvel and DC. And I think it's happened even, like, a couple times in other pieces of fiction, so... I just disagree with the notion completely that you have to transcend infinite multiverses specifically to get to 4D. That seems really, really strange to me. I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't. You clearly can do that to get to 5D.
No,
that's a way to get there, but you don't need to do that. It's not necessary. I mean, you don't need to literally exist in the fourth dimension and then ascend to the fifth dimension. You could just be in the fifth dimension or be in the third dimension, and then be given the power to rule over the fifth dimension from someone who lives there. Fetty, I think they got it. I think they understand the linear time, or at least I think their brains have shut off from the amount of information being given, so it's fine. Fetty, you're putting them to sleep. Linear time is nothing. Space time is 4D. It's not it. It's not true, but don't need an infinite multiverse to be 4D. Uh, I, I I don't think anyone said that's killer, Zeka. But he's like, hey, you guys had some knowledge, but what if? What if I gave you more knowledge? Everybody's brains are just exploding.
No, that just reminds me of this meme I see where it's I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's a guy called Popular Loner. That's what his Twitter handle is, and he says, and this is a little bit of life, but I won't get too in detail about it. And he says, in his thing, he says specifically, my coworkers are talking about race politics. Looks like I'm about to get involved, and it shows a picture of the anonymous guy coming out of a vape smoke with like a fedora, and then the one under it says 3 minutes later, I got fired.
According to Neil, the Supreme Judge is 1A, then he ain't a Yu-Gi-Oh card because Yu-Gi-Oh cards aren't 1A. At least according to my knowledge. Maybe there's been some change in the lore recently, but yeah.
Kyle wants me to watch fucking Bakugan.
Well, I've argued for the longest time on this channel that DMC was at least 2B. I've said for I don't know how many streams that Dante was 2B consistently. Based on the idea that Mundus could make those universes based on like how blood operates, based on the demon world. The difference is that now I'm just using like 3 or 4 or 5 arguments instead of like.
I mean, the Egyptian gods may be 2C, but that doesn't make the verse 1A though. What? Because when we're done here. Oh.
I don't think I ever argue people into being 3C though. I have a hard time remembering what is 3B. Is 3B multi-galaxy, or do we just classify that as?
3B, I think, is multi-galaxy, yeah. Because 3A is universal.
Mangler is another Seth? I hope not. I like being wrong sometimes.
Who the fuck are you lying to?
No, but it's nice. I like being wrong
extra. I sense bullshit.
It saves me the pain of having to deal with being right.
I must have misheard you there because I thought I heard something very different.
Do you have any idea how hard I have to argue on this channel sometimes to be right? Do you know how much easier it is to be wrong? Are you fucking kidding me? Like concession is just so much more comfortable sometimes because you're just like, well, here's a 40-minute argument that will probably extinguish 10% of my brain cells. Here's a scenario where I don't do that. That's cute. I like that. Oh wait. There's bonus. There's a package deal in there that includes my ability to continue enjoying that particular day as a result of not engaging in that. Delicious. So sometimes being wrong can be useful because it saves you stress and headache. It also allows you to learn things, but mostly stress and headache. You're not understanding the joke, Minger. I'm saying you're very convincing. I'm sure I'm at least convincing to one person. Just one person. No one else.
Set the programmer as crap. He is wrong on a lot of arguments. He makes like Sora 2C even though he isn't.
Okay, look, Ryan, I know you hate his multiversal Sora video, but that's not a reason to tell him he's wrong. He is right on a lot of stuff. And he does improve his ability. Like Sora...
tell me why Clyde the Weeble claimed I was trying to goat him into claiming Ted is a racist on his live stream just because I asked him a question on a topic and he essentially called me dumb. I call you dumb for
wait, hang on. Let me read that again. Clyde the Weeble... Oh, yeah. I forget that Clyde changed his... he changed his channel name. It's just called Clyde now.
Is it because he was getting tired of being called the Cybercuck?
I think you're referring to Chuck.
Right. Wait, which one's Clyde
they are 2 different people. Wait, what?
Which one's Clyde then?
So Chuck is the guy that sort of does like some DC scaling. He did Dragon Ball scaling with like what's it called? Seth initially. And then Clyde is the one who does Bleach stuff. and has sometimes done Naruto stuff with both Seth and Swagkage, mainly Swagkage. Tell me why Kawhi the Weebu claimed I was trying to goad him into claiming Seth is a racist on his live stream because I asked him a question on the topic and he essentially called me. I would have to see the live stream specifically, but I don't know why. I don't know why Seth would be doing that. I have a pretty good idea of why Kawhi would be doing that, but I'm not going to get into
collab
that.
with Swag Kage or Riot. I don't collab with anybody. Well, I guess except for the people who I talk to.
What is a collab if not? I don't know. I don't have anything for this. You take the wheel.
Car's on fire. Here.
You sure it's one? I'm sure there is it. Okay, here. I'll make it charitable myself. I'm sure there is at least one person. There we go. I'm sure there's at least one person that finds me convincing. There we go. See now, since I said at least one, we've established the bare minimum, and the rest can be led to the consequences of your imagination.
Why don't you collab? It's kind of hard to do, and for the most part, I don't really know anyone who I'd really collab with. And when I do try and collab with people, it gets like super tedious to actually do it. It's just too much of a hassle.
Power scale DMC versus anything.
We wouldn't get along with those people.
What do you mean power scale DMC? Like, which one do you enjoy? More context and more details are needed. Orion. Azura and Valerie says Zim and Mangler versus Seth and Chuck on what? Seth and Chuck don't scale DMC. That's most of what we talk about. The only other thing that I can scale is I can scale a lot of things, but I mainly do DMC and KH and I guess Bleach, but I don't really have a lot of things I disagree with on the Bleach scaling that Seth does.
That's kind of where I was over there. I was gonna say, because I could do Fist of the North Star, but I don't disagree with any of Seth's statements that he's talked about Fist of the North Star on.
So it's like any of the new stuff that we would find, I don't know if Seth would disagree with that. So except for Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom he would. It wouldn't really be a debate between Chuck and Seth versus me and Zim. It would just be me versus Seth because Chuck has not demonstrated that he knows anything about KH because he doesn't have any videos or any information that would lead me to believe he knows anything about KH. And
same.
Zim has just flat out said he doesn't scale KH. He doesn't play the games or anything. So it would just be me versus Seth. So at that point, why wouldn't we just do that? Dante versus Bo. I don't know what that is.
Is that an LC character? Because we don't do LCs here. I have LCs, and you don't hear me talking about them in terms of power scaling or anything.
Dante have adaption, so at some time he can resist any hacks. I mean, if you give him enough human blood. But I'm still waiting for Insono to be by the way, Bullet has higher dimensional power, and then I'll be Dante's 1B.
Chuck hearted my comment by DMC power scale, but then he unhearted it. What was the comment?
Why would he unheart it? Oh,
cold bastard.
He might have unhearted it maybe because it was he's I like DMC, but hang on a sec. I gotta. Zim, keep talking. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, so I gotta keep talking now, it seems. It seems I have no choice, but I must continue to speak against my will, regardless of any intentional outcome. This is me speaking right now, against my will. Okay, let's move you over here real fast, and let's go ahead and get that fucker in here so my Kinshiro can get actual more buffs in here. Alright, I'm pretty sure it's all parties included. Alright.
I'm back. I had enough time to wash my hands and everything.
No, you fucking didn't.
I did, actually. I'm very quick.
Dude,
also, I just turned the water on and put soap on my hands. They're very close.
That was not 10 seconds. Disgusting.
What if I told you I was right in the restroom before I muted my phone?
No, you weren't.
It's almost like I prepared for something.
Why the fuck you lying to me?
Why would I lie to you?
for a number of reasons, actually.
I guess we'll have to agree to disagree.
That's not how this works.
So what about? I'll answer your question in a sec, Azura and Valerie, or your statement. I don't know. What about pizza manipulation? I don't think Dante can manipulate pizza because if he did, he probably would have stopped buying it, or at least I don't know if he realizes that he can, or that he can create pizza, because he clearly would have stopped ordering it. I could actually see a reason why Chuck would heart your comment, and then unheart it. Is probably because he does like DMC, or he's heard of it, and he likes it's interesting. But again, as a when a content creator, like when a YouTube creator, like hearts a comment on like when they approve of a comment that you do in the comments, everybody who can scroll through the comments can see that, and that can lead to like an upvote or something, which can then lead people to be like, hey, he likes DMC stuff. Why don't we request that he does a DMC video? And
I know the way they say that. Then they might like upvote it.
Yeah, and then
I was like, that's the worst thing.
Chuck might be like, oh god, I have other projects or things I want to work on. Why are you heathens doing this to me? And I know this because that's exactly what would happen if you guys asked me this.
I just ignore you guys.
I also know this because this already happens with Zim. I said, can you power skill Dante from Devil May Cry? Then he underrated. He hearted everyone's comment but mine. And then I said he didn't and put a sad face. Which video did you put on?
Wait. I can use hers again? What the fuck?
I'm saying, does he have resistance to it? I don't know if Dante has resistance to beat, though. Because he's kind of... Look, guys, I don't want to be rude for any Dante fans in the chat, but I think Dante is a simp for pizza. I know. It's heartbreaking your discovery.
No one asked me to make a power scaling video. Do you actually have
Yeah,
a
it's also
YouTube channel,
possible
or
he
no?
did it by accident. But as a person who's a power scaler, I find it a little difficult to believe that Chuck physically, purposefully went down into his comments and then accidentally hearted a video or hearted a comment about something that he doesn't know about. It's entirely possible, but it's less likely that he did it on accident, that he did it on purpose.
Great damage.
His Godzilla versus the Gods video. Oh, okay. I don't watch Godzilla videos. That's his Godzilla videos. That's why I never saw that comment. Okay, but guys, DMC is multi-continental. You're correct. Afedi, you're spitting facts today. Man, you are on a roll. What is this? What is this power? No one asked me to make a power scale video. Well, I mean, as soon as you get that YouTube channel up and running.
Alright, guys, so I'm going to call it a little bit early here today because I'm going to take care of a couple of things afterwards and go and check. Oh, my goodness. I have this token now, thankfully. Oh, that's right. He revives.
Of course I'm right, or people wouldn't call me Mangler. Yeah, absolutely. There's no other reason why a person would want to talk to you at all than, DMC power scaling. Obviously. Ryan, do you not get a joke? Ugh. That's still better than planet level DMC.
I also gotta hit up Newhan and see if Newhan could do some thumbnails for me because I want to do a thumbnail for other side as well.
It's better if you want to convince the Reddit, but that's pretty much it.
The Reddit will never believe it. The Reddit's full of a bunch of fucking.
It's like Reddit or reality. I choose reality, but maybe I'll check out Reddit sometime. Maybe.
Why are you lying to yourself?
Azara says, "Don't go yet." Aw, do you miss us?
Sorry.
Don't worry, mommy and daddy will be back soon.
I might stream tomorrow in the morning as well because I don't think I have anything to do tomorrow in the morning. So I might just stream an extra time this week, depending.
I know it's a joke, Mango. Then you laugh, or just say it's not funny.
Obviously, I'm the father in this relationship because I'm the head of the household.
That's a good one.
What?
And yet you never spend enough time with me.
That's usually how the relationships go in the nuclear family, is it not?
Where's my white picket fence?
I work all day.
You promised me.
I'm not doing this for the kids.
It's like something out of that SpongeBob and Patrick episode.
I work hard every... So this is what I get for working overtime.
It's like, I'm going back to work. Goes back to his house.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys on next stream or video.